Eric and Carson. We are here on flinttalkradio.com.
Hi.
Again. And this is, I don't know, we've been doing this now how many months, Carson? Like 6 almost?
Something like that. I have no idea.
Yeah.
4 months, something like that. 5 months.
I think it's 4.
And before we get any further today, I want to make sure I say this. If you want to download these on a regular basis, or if you want to see a bunch of ones that we've done in the past, the easiest way is iTunes. Just do the whole Google Eric and Carson thing. Brian, we didn't, and obviously add your name yet.
No,
so.
there's no need.
No need yet. Well, it's good to have your name on stuff.
Yeah, give it a couple weeks. It'll be Eric and Brian.
Yeah, yeah. I think there's a possibility that
I'm about
might
done
happen.
with Flint. So
You're about done with Flint.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, before we get into the Super Chief, do you want to talk about that?
yeah, it don't matter. I'm pretty much gonna move to Atlanta and go to work for Delta, and if something happens in radio, good. If not, I'm pretty much done.
Now, actually, this is news to me because on the walk down here, you were thinking that this is the way it has to be. But
Well, unless unemployment comes through, which after the phone call today doesn't look likely, I've got no choice.
Mhm.
I imagine here in a couple weeks I'll be moving.
Okay.
So,
Well, that's.
I mean, it sucks, but I'm probably going to take that money that I used to sell the Pontiac and try to rent a U-Haul or something.
No,
and-
you did sell the Pontiac.
Not yet.
Oh.
If I do. And then I'm probably going to use that money and get a U-Haul and head south.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I
So-
mean, that's kind of how it has to be. I mean, this is the world that we're in this economy.
I know.
And it's like I've told you a million times. I'd be sad to see you go, but everybody's got to kind of make their
Oh, yeah.
choices at this point.
I mean, I'd love to stay here and do this podcast and wait it out, but my girlfriend only makes $300 take home every 2 weeks, and that's $600 a month. You can't live on that.
Right.
We've done it now for 6 weeks, and we're supposed to know something on unemployment after 6 weeks. And I call them today, and we're still no further along. They haven't made any moves. It's at the least it's going to be another 2 weeks. They're saying so.
Mm-hmm.
At the most it could be another year. They're back to not having a time frame again. So.
Oh, wow.
It sucks, and I don't want to do it, but at the same time, I'd really love to stay here, and I'd really love to get a job in radio, but, you got to be realistic, and, I'm 30 years old, and, I can't even fucking make ends meet. It's pretty fucking depressing that I got to move back home with my parents, but I got to do what I got to do.
That's true. I mean,
Yeah.
but this is how it is, Brian. This is the radio world. It's sad to see you go, but at the same time, I can't blame you for doing
No.
so.
I got $2 in my account, and I've had $2 in my account all week. Like, I'm broke.
Yeah.
And that $300 is going to be gone because we're going to get some groceries and fill up the car and pay some on the cell phone bills to keep them running because I owe them like $300. But
Yeah.
I can pay them enough to where they don't shut them off, and that's it.
Yeah.
And then I'm broke again.
I had to pay my Comcast yesterday. They did a fine, like I was talking about on Tuesday that it was possibly gonna be shut off, and I had to get and I was calling to see if I could get like a payment plan set up, and then Brian,
But they're onto your. Are they onto your scheme?
No,
the one
I
you were
don't
talking about Tuesday.
They may have been, because what happened is that I started calling them and telling because I wanted to get a payment plan going. So I was like, send me to collections, because then what you do is if you have a checking account, you give them your routing number and your account number, and then they usually they'll just say, okay, that's cool. Now in 2 weeks we'll take it out. And because I was thinking that the unemployment was going to be taken care of, and if nothing else, I can save up I can save up some shekels from the side work that I do.
Right.
I figured I could do that. But what wound up happening is they just shut it off because you can't get through to collections right now. People are so out of money.
God, it's crazy.
in this area.
It's crazy
that people are actually to the point where they can't. The point where the collections, you can't get through to them.
Mm-hmm.
It's craziness. So
and that's usually where they have the most people working. Is the collections department, because that's
the bill getting money.
Yeah, that's accounts receivable. That's where they're getting money. So usually they don't want to put you on hold too long. They don't. They usually get right in.
Yes.
Like when you dial in and they say, if you're calling to make a payment or
Right.
make a bill, press 1. If you're calling to
Right.
complain about service, press 2.
Yeah.
There's always like 2 guys in the back that are the customer service people.
Yep.
They're
Then
drunk.
There's about 60. Yeah.
They don't care.
Yeah, they don't care. Watch it blink. Blink,
Yeah.
blink, blink. No cable for you. Blink, blink. But it's the accounts receivable or collections. There's usually 16 girls up there. They're right there for you, and you still can't get in. That's incredible.
Yeah, it's amazing.
That's got to be killing them.
Well, because I imagine there's a lot of people that are trying to do what I was trying to do. But so what they have is if you can't get in, and I was trying last week, and I tried this week, and I couldn't get in. So what they do is they send you to a voicemail, and you go, "Hey, I'm Eric. Call me at blah 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 blah." I just give them all the information. I did that 3 times, and they never called me back.
Wow.
Nice.
So basically, so then I had to, I really didn't want to have to spend that money. But I wound up having to do it. So I hoofed it over to the ATM, and I had to drag my ass down to Comcast and pay it to get it back on.
By the airport?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Well, because when you're unemployed, you have to have the internet. If you
Yeah, you do.
You really do, because you have to be able to get another job.
I wish to God I could get it.
Yeah.
That's the thing that sucks is like I don't have the money to do it.
Yeah.
There's just not enough money coming into my house. Like I'm doing good to keep my cell phone on and keep food.
Yeah.
And like I live off the only thing I've had to eat for the last 3 days, I shit you not, is ramen noodles.
Wow. Shit's
bad.
I had to
dude.
quit smoking because that's how
I get free packs of cigarettes.
How do you get free packs of cigarettes?
My neighbor buys them by the cartons and he gives me cigarettes.
That's a nice guy.
Yeah.
That is a good neighbor.
Yeah.
That's always a good name.
Like I'll see him every day. He's like, "Here, have a pack of cigarettes." Yeah.
Yeah.
And me and Lisa just split them.
That's cool.
There he is with a blanket and a pack of cigarettes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good neighbor.
That is it. Here, have a little warmth and kill your
Smoke,
lungs.
Yeah.
Yeah. But if it wasn't for that, I'd have been quit. I quit smoking, and then he's like, "Oh, dude, I'll hook you up. Just hit me back sometimes." I'm like, "All right, if I ever get my unemployment, I'll buy you a carton."
Yeah. Well,
Boy, is he going to be pissed when he sees the
exactly.
U-Haul in the middle of the
All
night.
right.
Yeah, not getting those cigarettes there back there, stupid. How you like them apples?
Bye.
Yeah.
Whatever.
Well, hey, at least, I'd say that you made out on it.
Yeah.
But I'm telling you, you do have to make those choices. Like, I've turned into, and this is the part that really drives me nuts, is I've turned into the guy that, I've turned into Dent. When I go to the bar, I'm basically giving everybody Bambi eyes, and of course, Brian over here, who's still got his got money coming in. I kind of just look at him and go like, they're only $2 for a draft, Brian.
Yeah.
And then like eventually, after they get drunk enough, I'm like, let's do shots.
Right.
I'm
I
like,
know you are like on the shots.
skibbity dibbity doo.
Yeah.
Well, I've always been like that because I've drank so much and so often that I've gotten to the point where if I just drink beer, it does nothing to me. I might as well, when you go out, you never walk out of the house going, you know what? I'm gonna get me a buzz today. You never actually say it.
See,
I do.
I don't go out to get obliterated. I just like the whole social. The social side of it, where you're drinking and talking.
I'm the same way.
My two favorite things in the world are drinking and talking.
I'm the same way, and talking and drinking both get you into trouble if you do a lot of it, and so therefore, you tend to. So that's kind of what happened with me, and I absolutely, I don't go out to necessarily get drunk, but for some reason, right around that the third beer usually starts talking to me and goes like, let's hit the accelerator button on this because this is taking too fucking long.
Plus, you're used to getting free shots from where you go.
Me?
Yeah, you get a lot of free shots.
Are you
there.
saying that I get a lot of help from people? It's amazing.
I think you have that one play. Well, you could
Kickers.
say kickers. Yeah, kickers. That always takes care of you.
Yeah, they take care of me, and so does Jeff.
You've been in there. If you're sitting next to Eric, you're always
Oh,
getting
yeah,
free
you're
shots.
good.
There's something about there was a point where I was going to that place like 3 times a week,
Yeah.
so they really do like me. So that helps. So that's what I did, and I enjoyed it, and that's why I go there so much. I love Kickers and Jesters and all the other places that hook me up every time I go there, and they understand because for years I was spending just shitloads of money in there, and now they're like, "Wow, you're not spending any money." It's like, yes, unemployed.
Yeah.
It sucks. So it's fine. I forget how we got on this topic.
Being broke.
I'm getting bad at that.
You were talking about your Comcast bill.
Oh.
And you had to pay Comcast.
Oh no, quitting smoking and what you have to give up on unemployment.
I did give up those things, but
Yeah.
now I'll go back to the Comcast thing. So yeah, I had to hoof it down, and I had to sit in that super long line. It was incredible. I had to sit this because the thing was is I wanted to do a check over the phone, right? But my shit was shut off, so I needed to have this happen quickly. But apparently, if your shit's shut off, you don't want to do the check over the phone. I just didn't have any room on my credit card to do it. So I was like, all right, I'm going to take this $180 and I'm going to go down, and I walk down, and then you stand in the line. And it's amazing how the conversations you hear at that fucking, because Comcast in general, or basically any cable company, anything that's got a window like that.
Yeah, the window. Whenever there's a window, whenever you're confronted with a window, it's trouble.
And
it's never a good moment.
And there's always problems with customer service anywhere you go, no matter what it is anymore. But the thing is that you don't necessarily hear those crazy conversations when you're on the phone.
Right.
You do hear those in living color and violent threats right in front of you at that window, and it's a fucking hoot. Like, if you don't have cable, Carson, you should just go down and just watch the goddamn window down there at Comcast near the airport.
I can't afford to drive down there, Eric. Yeah, no. The
God
only
damn.
time the car leaves the house is to go to Lisa's work and back.
Okay.
And that's it.
Wow.
Like I'll catch a ride to Kroger with a neighbor. 'Cause
Really?
yeah. If not, Lisa won't be able to make it to work.
Mm.
Because the tank of gas lasts the 2 weeks for her to go back and forth to work and twice to Jester's.
That's amazing.
And usually by the time payday rolls around, it's like, God, I hope I make it to work and back.
Wow.
That's how tight my money is.
Holy
I
shit.
cannot leave the house.
I understand.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I'm sorry about
It's
that.
horrible. Like I said, it's fucking horrible right
Yeah,
now.
I understand.
I mean, when it's to the point where you have to ration out your gas to leave the house,
Yeah.
it's fucking bad. I am the most miserable, depressed human being in the fucking world. Like it's all I can do to get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah.
It really is.
And this weather doesn't help.
No, like I don't even want to get out of bed anymore. I don't. I mean, not to be a dick. I don't feel like being here. I don't feel like doing this. I don't feel like getting out of bed. I am fucking sick of fucking eating ramen noodles. I'm sick of my fucking life, and I want to put a gun to my head, honestly.
Well, what's the upside to all this?
There's not one. There is not one single fucking upside.
I'm trying to be funny.
What's the matter with you?
I was just trying to make a joke. I apologize.
Yeah, but there's not. There's not a single fucking anything good whatsoever.
But isn't it? But don't you always say? Isn't it always?
Doesn't the cooking segment start soon?
Yeah, exactly. Dr. Goodsex is stopping by to tell you how to get your husband off in 10 minutes. No, but but isn't it? It's the darkest before the dawn. I mean, I don't mean to be like a fucking
Well, that means if it's gonna be darkest, that means my ass is gonna have to move to Georgia before it gets better. Like, fuck, man. There's just no relief in sight.
I'd say moving to Georgia is an upside. This is Flint, Michigan, baby. This is dark.
Lisa's been begging for more work. She's went around trying to get a bartending job. I've tried to find fucking work on the side, making some kind of money, trying to do body work. I fucking actually went around my neighborhood yesterday in my snow pants, trying to fucking shovel people's driveways for money. Like, I'm fucked, man. Yeah. There is just... Fuck. When you go to Kroger and the only thing you can get is fucking ramen noodles.
Yeah.
That's fucking, like, I eat a pack of ramen noodles twice a day.
Right.
That's what I eat.
Okay.
Like, fuck me.
Yeah. You sound angry too.
Oh, I'm depressed. I'm sick of fucking, I've never been so suicidal in my life.
Whoa.
I swear to God.
I did, dude. Here's
half the day I sit around thinking of ways to kill myself. That is fucking sad.
I understand why you're doing that because you're a creative person and you need to have something like that. You need to have something to be creative about. But I would say this, you got to understand that everybody's going through this right now. This is the whole country. Everybody's got these problems.
It's just, I hear that all the fucking time, and then all my friends are telling, oh, yeah, fuck, we're going through the same thing. I talk to people back home, oh, we're going through the same thing. Really, what are you guys up to? Oh, we're at the bar right now drinking.
Yeah.
Fuck you, then. You're not going through the same fucking thing. I can't even leave my fucking house.
Yeah.
Fuck off. You don't know what bad is. I actually got into it the other day with my buddy Corey down south,
Right.
He's like, man, I'm really worried about keeping my job, fucking Roush is letting people go, blah, blah, blah. And I'm like, dude, you've been there for a while. You're fucking pretty high up on the chain and everything.
Right.
And he's like, yeah, it's just bad for everybody. My, buddy of ours, Eric, not you, of course, but he's like,
no, I'm here.
Yeah. He's like, Eric just let go. I'm like, oh, no shit. And he's like, yeah.
Well, we're in the same situation, though.
Yeah. I'm like, no shit. So I call up Eric, and he's bitching and whining about how he's been out of work for a month now and fucking can't find a job anywhere. This guy's got a pristine fucking resume. Championships, races won, fucking good resume.
Feeds his fish, fucks his girl.
Yeah, I mean, and he's bitching and moaning, and I'm like, well, did you get unemployment? He goes, I'm still fucking waiting on it, I'm just fucking living off the money in the bank. And I'm like, oh, that's cool. He's like, yeah, the old lady's still working, but it's such a fucking struggle, man. I'm like, really? He goes, yeah, I can only fucking go out like twice a week now.
Well,
I'm like, fuck you. And I got into it with him. I'm like, fuck you. I started cussing at him.
I just like the idea that you're having, that you're like, how dare you say you're worse off than I am.
And I'm like, that's not a fucking struggle. A fucking old lady makes $60,000 a year. Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, I mean,
so you can't pay for your $250,000 house. Oh, right. God.
Well, yes, you're right, and it's obviously it's difficult. It's difficult times, but shit, dude, people get out of this stuff all the time. I mean, everybody does. Everybody has these problems.
But I had a cousin complaining to her dad that she and her husband pulled on $250 G a year, and she's complaining that they couldn't make it.
Yeah.
And he goes, you were raised in a house, and they went to private schools and everything, and Grand Blanc and stuff like that, on less than $40,000 a year when your mom and I raised, and you can't make it at $250,000.
Isn't that kind of interesting that it's maybe that is the sign of like a depression or something like that, because maybe that's what it means is that people just everywhere are depressed, as opposed to even if your situation isn't as bad, you just feel bad because you watch the news and you see all these things that you just feel like you should be saying things that are bad. I mean, do you think that may have something to do with it?
I'm not sure if there is a definition, an actual definition of depression like there is of recession. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
I'm not sure that there is like that. In order for it to be a recession, certain things have to occur.
Yeah.
And of course, they never know about it until after it's happened. So
Right.
like the recession we're in now has been going on for a year, but we just found out,
Right.
a month ago.
Yeah,
But I'm not sure that there is a definition for depression.
I think that it's you're going through what you're going through, and you and I are in exactly the same financial position. You have this because you do the same work on the side that I do.
At least your old lady makes fucking decent money.
She doesn't. She doesn't. It's the
She
same.
only makes $600 a month.
Yeah, she does. I mean, dude, I get actually. I think it's actually of what she actually until she starts getting more.
Right.
It's been basically like 4, and I've.
She makes $100 a week. That's it.
Well, she's a waitress, and that's what she gets. I mean, and
Really?
she
She
got
ain't making shit on tips.
no, because actually they did away with the tips go towards the waitresses. She's a bartender. This, by the way, this is fascinating. I'm writing like
I know.
several different episodes all around this. It's going to be a great sitcom. But apparently she has to give all of her tips to the waitresses because she's a bartender.
What?
It's this thing. I don't understand, but she gets a higher amount per hour, which was very advantageous to her. But her hours got cut. The good news is that she started the second job where she's working at U of M. And that'll be coming in. No, we've been going off of 400. But I take the money I make on the side, I save it, and I was saving it before, and I cut out a lot of things in my life, and because the money I make on the side is which I shouldn't even talk about, but like it gets me by, and because I don't really spend a lot of gas. I don't really go anywhere. I basically it's gotten to the point where my social circle is basically nary goes farther than kickers, and that's
Right.
about it.
I don't know. I see you drive by my apartment all the time.
Well, I have to go.
Okay,
I go to
there
the.
goes Eric again.
I go to the store for stuff, and
Yeah.
that's about it. But yeah, that's. I don't go very much. I mean, especially considering how much I used to drive before. I don't drive hardly at all. I don't think I've been to Miller Road since. Well, actually, no. I drove that one night when we went over to the Bar
Yeah.
Louie.
Yeah.
That was fun. But yeah, I just I save, I budget. I'm very crazy about it. And we all have to do these things, and it sucks. But at the same time,
That's the thing is, like, I save and I budget and I do all that shit, and they're still like, I haven't fucking smoked weed in like almost 3 weeks now. I smoke about maybe 7 cigarettes a day, and like I get those given to me. I eat fucking ramen noodles, and there's still no fucking money.
yeah.
I mean, I got like a couple hundred put back, but that's for rent, and I can't touch it.
Maybe
And I've got to sell my car on top
I
of
don't
that to
wanna-
make rent.
I hate to throw this out there because no one wants to talk about it, but what about
Selling drugs, I
no.
tried it. It didn't work.
pain in the ass.
yeah.
What about
Fucking everybody wants it for free.
would you qualify for food stamps?
I
Yes.
checked into it, and because Lisa has a job, no.
No,
Because even though we're not married, we live in the same household.
Yeah,
That's-
but check again if she keeps getting her hours cut.
Yeah, I'll check.
Yeah, check now because actually when that was all predicated when you were checking on it, it was all predicated on you receiving unemployment, and you haven't.
No, well, I checked on it during the downtime of unemployment, like right before Pun moved. Actually, we went downtown to this fucking building, stood in line for like 20 minutes, and they pretty much told me since there's income, they're like, well, you could maybe qualify, and if you do, we'll send you something in the mail. Of course, I haven't seen anything. Who the fuck knows? I might get it in the 3 months from now that says I get $50
Oh, so
a
you
week.
filled it out? I mean,
Yeah.
you filled out the form.
Yeah,
I
so-
did that too.
And they pretty much said that, since you have somebody in your house making income, then it's not likely.
Did you do the appointment?
What appointment?
They because
They
when
didn't give me an appointment. They just said, all right, well, if you qualify, you'll get something in the mail, and then you'll have to come back down here and see us.
well, what happened was because I went down there. Where'd you go?
Downtown Flint, God, Pun took me right there. I've never been there before,
Okay,
but I couldn't tell you how to get there.
Oh.
There's some fucking shitty building.
really?
Well,
Imagine
that's
that.
the whole
Don't go to
city.
that one. There's a place. It's
It's
up.
right in downtown. You know what I'm talking about?
It's not
Like-
the one I'm talking about. Is not a shitty building at all. It's actually.
we might have went to a different place then.
Yeah, what you do is that because the place for that stuff, what you do is you go down and it's actually in the courthouse, and you go.
that ain't where I went.
You go upstairs and there's a window, and because I did this initially, around the time I got fired, And I went to the window, and like you stand in, it is a long line. You just got to deal with it. But you know, you're unemployed. You got all day. You stand in the window. You stand in line for the window, and they give you a packet. And then you fill out the packet. It's a big book. Fill out the packet, and you drop it off. You know, you can do it right there. But I took it home and filled it out, and then went back and dropped it off. It was the day that my tire got low. Actually,
Oh, yeah. I
that was the
remember
same day. And by the way, if I had to find the nadir of me being unemployed, it would be that day. Is when I had to walk up and down, Saginaw Street, and I couldn't get a hold of anybody to come help me out because my car, was completely screwed up. Anyway, moving on.
Where was I? I don't remember that.
You were working.
Yeah, you were working.
So I would have come out.
I know, but it was one of those things I was just like, I was just like fucking figures. Anyway, so what you do is they'll mail you, and then you're supposed to go for an appointment.
Yeah, she told me if I get approved, I'll have to come back.
And no, it's not even approved. You have to be approved in this situation. You have to go back for the appointment. So by the time
See,
they came, yeah, you went to the wrong. You didn't go to this place. So by the time I went, because that's for food stamps and all those other kinds of things. That's what that's for. Because I was trying. That was
So what were you doing? If he was, where
I
were
was
you?
just trying to get food stamps. I had like 3 papers to fill out, and they said you might have to come back. If you get something in the mail, it'll tell you when you have to come back and talk to us.
Well, that was when Consumers was trying to shut me off,
Right.
Because that was when all that shit was going down. Because I was just pissed. Of course they owed me fucking money anyway. So I wanted to do something to see if I could get involved and try to get something. And that's where I wound up getting sent, because I was like, look, they're going to shut me off, my electricity off, and this is going to be, detrimental to me being able to find other work. So they did, and so when I went down there, that was the reason I went, and the packet they gave me said yes, food stamps. So I was like, okay, food stamps, there we go. And then I went for it. I was like, that's cool. So. But then by the time I got the letter, the consumers thing had been taken care of. I'd paid them off, and I was receiving unemployment at the time, and I was kind of like, and I had an appointment to go. And I had it. It was written out. There was a schedule, and it was all that. And it was actually pretty quick. It was like only a week later. And I
never got shit.
Yeah.
Maybe you should go to that office.
I should go to his office, obviously. Pon's a fucking idiot.
But I went to. There's no surprises there. But I went to the. I'm kidding. I do like Pun. But then I got the appointment, and I was kind of like, life isn't really bad. I'm not really wanting for anything. Yeah. I don't want to go through the hassle of this, because it was just, it was kind of a weird time. They wanted me to go down there, and I didn't really want to go down there and do it because I really didn't feel like I needed it.
Right.
So I was like, fuck it. I don't. There's no reason for me to do this. And actually, when I missed the appointment, they automatically scheduled like 3 more. So now I'm getting all these goddamn appointments. If I see one in my mailbox, I'll let you know, and you can go for me. Huh. So we'll do it that way. That's friends helping other friends out. That's what we do here. We're all friends here.
But I think if you're at the point where you're only eating ramen noodles, then
it's cheap, Brian.
No, I'm saying that's what the program is for.
I got some raviolis every once in a while too. They're like $2-4.
Ooh, Sundays.
Yeah,
very nice.
That's weekend food.
Barley's always asking if you need more food. So
yeah, Barley hooks me up with some food. That's the nice stuff. I can eat like good for a week or something when Barley stops by.
Wow, yeah, we're down to Barley's the good food. This is impressive.
By the way, I got to say hi to Chad. He just texted. He's watching.
Chad's watching.
Yeah.
Chad, get me a fucking job in North Carolina with you.
He's unemployed too.
You want to take a break and then have hopefully let's play some music. It's something nice and uplifting after this depressing ass fucking break, which is easily the most depressing 20 minutes I've ever spent with headphones on.
Sorry.
It's okay. Were you feeling that too for a minute?
Yeah,
that was some dark shit. I was like, I was trying to lighten the mood because I was uncomfortable.
My bad.
It's all good, brother. It's all good.
Should we be seeking out like a hotline or something? I mean, no. Okay.
That'd be fun. If
I just think about it. I'm not actually gonna.
I wish I still had a radio show, because that'd be so much fun to call the suicide hotline and just like actually go over this. Okay, do we have that capability?
we had it, but somebody unplugged one of the cords. I've been trying to trace it down, for the
So no.
There's a guy with a white beard that would be all over this if we were in a different building. Find the guy that unplugged the cord. It would be, and tell me, I'll say this, it would be 8 hours. It'd be all day. Yeah. He'd be on the case.
Yeah, it's like we're pulling. I'm throwing all these cords, saying which one is I trace them where they're connected. I can't figure out where that sound. I could hear it in here, but I can't get you guys to hear it out there.
Okay.
Yeah, so
again, I'm also writing another 10 episodes about this. The how to fix the phones caper.
Yeah.
I think it's premiering NBC next year. It's going to be really good. All right.